Ken Trahan along with Lenny Vangilder. It's our First NBC Bank Weekend Review brought to you by First NBC Bank with 35 locations throughout Southeast Louisiana and into the Florida Panhandle. That's First NBC Bank, proud sponsor of SportsNOLA.com. A rare win for the New Orleans Pelicans, and it came in rare fashion against a rare team. A good team, the Clippers, a playoff-bound team, a team that would be at home in the playoffs, against a team playing with basically nobody healthy. And they won. Go figure.
What I want to know is this. This is and a lot of things that, of course, the big news from the Pelicans is not the win, but that officially Anthony Davis is shut down for the rest of the year. But how is Tim Frazier, who is the MVP of the D-League, I don't understand, how who wasn't on an NBA roster before now. I mean, he was a bit player in Portland and couldn't get off the end of the bench at some point. This guy he can make a difference on an NBA team from what I've seen. So, maybe they found something in spite of all of these injuries, having to go sign some guys to some contracts. The little bit we saw earlier this year of Bryce DeJean-Jones before he got hurt. Yeah, and again, can these guys maintain it over a long, sustained period of time? That's what remains to be seen. We're going to look at a small snippet as far as Frazier is concerned, considering his first game was Wednesday. So, look, again, you're playing out the string here, but give these guys credit for continuing to play hard, even obviously now without their best player. Let's see how they continue to play over the final 14 games.
Drew Holiday was the architect. He's been good all season long, and he's ready to roll. So that's good news. Anthony Davis, I think that was a smart move to shut him down. Some financial implications, but I don't think that had anything to do with this.
No, I mean, obviously this could impact his ability to get a clause that kicks in that escalates his contract. But again, if he's not healthy, the knee was the latest issue. The shoulder obviously has been an ongoing issue this season. Kudos for him for trying to play through it. My concern is the shoulder has been something that has been lingering with him for years. It seems like we see it 2 or 3 times a year where he has some kind of shoulder problem. And, ideally surgery is going to address that in the offseason. Now you have to wonder whether he will be spending his summer in Rio or spending his summer in rehab trying to fix, get this shoulder and this knee right.
Turning to college basketball, the Sweet 16 is set now, and some unbelievable finishes, unbelievable results and games. None more shocking than the Texas A&M win over Northern Iowa and New Orleans native Billy Kennedy. It was pretty interesting because last night there was the live passion that took place on the streets of New Orleans, I should say, and obviously that encapsulated this city very well and gave it a lot of attention, and people of faith were drawn to it. Well, Billy Kennedy expressed faith afterwards, almost to the tone of a miracle, and you can understand why, given what his team did and also given his own personal circumstances.
Exactly. This is a guy that 5 years ago, a lot of people thought might not be coaching anymore. And here he is in the Sweet 16, and you tip your hat to him, and it was an extraordinary comeback, but it just goes to show why you never give up and you play these things out to the end. And sorry, Seth Davis, why you don't write on your bracket in Sharpie, and you never know what might happen. And we saw something we've never seen before. It's one of the things, people ask us, what do we love best about sports? The one thing I would say is this: you watch it because you never know when you may see something on a given night that you've never seen happen before. And last night was one of those nights.
College baseball, good weekend for Tulane, winning 2 of 3 at Austin against Texas. Even though the Longhorns' record isn't what it's accustomed to being, that's a good win on the road to win at Austin. Another good weekend for UNO. They win 2 of 3 on the road in the Southland at Stephen F. Austin, and a bad weekend for LSU that was almost terrible, but they scored 6 in the 8th to revert a sweep against Alabama.
Yeah, this is an LSU team right now that is really struggling with the bats, and maybe the 8th inning on Sunday will wake them up a little bit as they get ready to head on a road. We mentioned Texas A&M. They've got to go to A&M this weekend, but not before tomorrow night, Zephyr Field, LSU, UL Lafayette, and the annual Wally Pontiff Jr. Classic. So don't forget about that one. As for Tulane, here's the thing to remember on this. They needed road wins. They've been very good at home. They've had some road opportunities that they've let slip away. Obviously, the game at UNO, the game at Nichols earlier this week. The way the NCAA RPI is set up, it really benefits you to win on the road. That is the equivalent. What they did this weekend, winning 2 out of 3, is the equivalent of winning 2.6 games. So, basically the dynamics of it is if the road team wins one game in a 3-game series, it's in essence like a split. And really, that's what it is. You win 2 out of 3 at home and the other team gets 1. That's kind of like you split. You should have that kind of advantage at home, and that's how the numbers are set up. So that was really good. And again, kudos to UNO. They just continue to get it done. They played well in the middle of the week for a while there at LSU before the Tigers prevailed at the end. So, right now, all is seemingly good in the world of college baseball. If LSU can continue to right the ship with that 8th inning on Sunday.
Yeah, it's early in the season, but if the season ended today at the Division I level, Blake Dean would be a top 5 candidate for Coach of the Year in America. I think that's accurate.
I agree, and it's extraordinary what he's done, and I guess it helped the fact that he can go recruit his younger brother, from junior college, because he's been a big part of this turnaround.
No question about it. High school baseball, and of course the weather's played havoc with the schedule, but we're going to get back in the swing of things, no pun intended, because we've got some good baseball coming up this week right here at SportsNOLA.com and on WHNO.
Yeah, the district play really gets started this week. All the tournaments are pretty much over now. District play getting started. The Bayou River League begins this week. The Catholic League begins this week, and we got a great one Tuesday afternoon at SportsNOLA.com. 4 o'clock, the big rivalry between Trahan and Hanville. We'll have that for you. You can also watch it on WHNO Wednesday at 5 as part of the First NBC Bank Prep Showcase.
Yeah, so here you go. You got to watch Trahan at Hanville Wednesday at 4. Then you can listen to Rumble and Brother Martin at 7 on WGSO 990 AM. Jude Young will be there while we're in Hanville, and I don't know, we might make it to the other one too, so stay tuned. But it's going to be a great week for baseball. We hope you will listen, tune, watch, do everything. Just do it through Sports NOLA. You'll find out everything you need to know, and you'll read the stories, including a preview of the Catholic League by Danny Ream. So that's our First NBC Bank Weekend Review, brought to you by First NBC Bank with 35 locations throughout the greater New Orleans area and beyond. That's First NBC Bank, proud sponsor of SportsNOLA.com. Lenny, thanks. Have a great week.
All right, we'll see you later this week.
And you have a great week as well. Until next time, Ken Trahan, thank you, and God bless you.